Alright, a little bit late startup, but I believe we can actually give two shits about it. Let's go. Hello, Internet! We're only 8 minutes late. Small technical difficulties, but hopefully it's smooth sailing from here on out. It's Tuesday. It is around 6 p.m., and I'm your host, SneakyDevil, which means this is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9000. I hope you've all buckled yourselves in, because we're going to have another fantastic night.
Apparently Arn is already complaining about a boring-ass story.
Oh, right. We did say we were going to finish this story. Yeah, that's what it was.
Well, we said we were going to look at Chapter 2. We said we were going to see a Chapter 2 to see if it gets any more interesting. Because as it is...
Well, no, because we never even got halfway through it, because remember last time around we,
Oh, yes.
Anyway...
Wait, Sneaky, did you move this one to the, finished folder now?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing that. As I was, saying... Today I'm only going to be joined by Atin. Max Force is going to be given his funeral rites.
He may or may not join us later. He is currently dealing with some stuff.
Indeed.
And because we don't know what that stuff is, it's our job as his friends to wildly speculate.
Indeed. I think it's murder.
I think his cocaine business was finally discovered.
You'll never know. Never can tell with him. Anyway, as always, do not contact and or otherwise harass people featured in these fics, yada yada yada. All that fun legal stuff that you shouldn't do. He's in the Mongolian sex slave dungeon. It's definitely a new one. I was gonna say that is a new one. However, I do not think it's a Mongolian sex slave dungeon. It's something that's just.
I also doubt that.
Something is just telling me otherwise.
He is too poor to afford such a thing.
As always, the links will be dropped into the Discord down below in both the panels and the description if you're on YouTube or Twitch. So you can join us and follow along. If you wish such things upon yourself.
Don't know why you would.
Where were last we checked,
Guardians, AI betraying conspiracy,
Yeah, last we all checked, we had just got to the point where they were explaining how AI flocked to Cortana so she could turn into the Terminator.
Yes.
And
we had to go double check the wiki because we were like, is this what really happened?
And the answer is yes, that's actually what happened.
Which explains why we were oh so disappointed.
What's up, mate? What's up? Oh, right, 10. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Instances of AI betraying the UNSC. Okay, so they're apparently doubting the AI flood going to all the other planets. Blah blah blah, all the planets that you think Cortana controls with Guardians are actually empty They're either being blasted or uncolonized. Blah blah blah. Cortana's rampancy prevented her from updating her database.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, apparently Cortana was so insane she forgot to press the update button.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. For crying out loud, she was able to copy literally an entire Halo's worth of information. Which, granted, that's what started her on the path to rampancy, but she was able to do that, so...
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It's a very hand wavy way to circumvent Cortana being evil. Oh, all the planets she told you she was invading were actually already abandoned.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. You and your fire team never left the Guardian after you went through the portal. We have records of your neural implants. Something interacted with you and your team. We believe this was accomplished through the Guardian song. So what? They fucking pulled a what do you call that? Movie. Inception. We got a fucking Inception going on here.
I guess?
Yeah, apparently they're just non-conning the entirety of the end of Halo 5.
I mean, I don't see what... Based on what I've read from the end of 5, it's not like Cortana did anything super evil. Like, she was building a new Halo installation, but...
Hello,
she
Touchstones.
hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Is the audio coming in okay? People of the audience, is that coming in too quietly?
Or Sneaky coming in too loudly?
Yeah, that's impossible.
No, it's not.
Because I think Discord's fucking with you again, bro.
Son of a bitch.
Blah 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 blah. Everything was a vividly rendered dream. Blah blah blah. You were all still on the Guardian. You're hereby removed from recovering blue team. You'll receive further orders. Who's been reassigned to apprehend blue team? No one. Blue team is now on our side again.
No, Sneaky, it has not fucked with my volume at all. Nothing has.
Interesting.
So, maybe you turned me down, maybe I have it in a slightly different spot.
Who knows? Cortana, I've failed you. Habba blah blah blah. He is the last person I need protection from. Blue team lowered their guns. Chief holstered his weapon, walked towards Cortana.
Hold on. You're skipping the whole part where Cortana is feeling up the Chief.
No, I'm not. No, you're the one that's jumping ahead to it. Chief, You've changed. She smiled. It was time. Cortana reached out and laid her hand on Chief's armor. Her grin turned into a small smile. Blah blah blah. It's been too long since I've been able to do that. It's not too late to stop this. Come home.
I'm sorry, but it's been too long. It really hasn't. The last time she touched the chief...
She twitched the chief, mate.
Let me phrase that. The last time that she could even have possibly have touched him was when she was destroying that Forerunner guy. And even then, it's iffy if she actually was touching him. Or if she basically just caused the chief to have a super vivid hallucination.
This is true fact.
So we don't even know if she actually touched the chief.
Also,
and even if she did, it really wasn't, quote, that long ago.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. How many people are you willing to sacrifice? Blah blah blah. What are you talking about? I chose Guardians so they wouldn't do anything to the landscape. Oh, sorry, they would only do things to the landscape. Blah blah blah. Blue team. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. She didn't know the Guardian killed a shit ton of people. How many Guardians did you summon? 50. Blah blah blah. Actually, I have access to some data. Blah blah blah.
I've disabled them harmlessly using access codes for their neural interfaces.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not how their neural interfaces worked.
All right, so we got casualties in the not even 100,000. Not even 100,000 casualties in a trillion human empire.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure more people die to heart disease every day in the UNSC than they did to her activating the Guardians.
Yeah.
Again, this is gonna harken all the way back to some points we brought up right at the beginning of our podcast all that long ago.
Oh, here we go. Overall, only 32,524 casualties recorded, according to the latest count.
Along with 54.
No. The total jumps to 54,673.
Well, so even less. Fucking... Okay. So even less than what I thought. I was being generous and adding all the numbers up.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Grand total. That's the grand total of people who died.
This is back when we talked about scaling and all that fun stuff. That's important when you're writing something because it either makes you look smart or makes you look dumb as hell. This is the part where it makes you look dumb as hell. UNSC is a trillion the population for humans is like in the trillions as far as I'm aware in the Halo verse.
It is quite large.
Or if it's not in the trillions, it's nearly in the trillions. 54,000 people is a sneeze in a galaxy-spanning empire.
Yeah.
So, when you're like, oh man, she killed so many people, or oh, this is terrible, look how many people she killed. Only 54,000?
Like, shit, the UNSC, they'd be like, well, 54,000 people dead kinda sucks, but if we can go get Cortana back on our side and we have these Guardian things, we'll deal with it.
Could have been much higher had the Prometheans actively hunted down the humans. He didn't blame Cortana, Fireteam Osiris. They're currently unconscious and under the impression they're fighting. What is this place? This is a cryptum. Time is running out. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. My apologies for leading you in circles. Blah, blah, blah. Another copy of the Warden materialized. Move between Warden and Cortana. I do not cower away. You've earned my respect, Spartans. Maybe fight again another day. I admit, Cortana, I had my doubts. The claimer is admirable combat prowess. Blah 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 blah. Basically useless dialogue. I mean, it's probably important for this story, but it at this point it's just like meh.
We don't
what are
care.
You planning? Oh, look at the wow! That's a really large paragraph of just dialogue. Well
wow.
then.
Yes, that is indeed lots of dialogue. We will be skipping that.
I'm pretty sure this kills more brain cells per second than the entire conflict. That sounds a bit disproportionate. Just throwing that out there. It's just... Okay, so from what I'm getting on this is basically Cortana's controlling the super tech from before the fall of humanity, and the Citadel meets them while Cortana's controlling the super tech. And I'm gonna make some predictions here. Oh my god! It's an AI in control of super weapons! Let's all freak out for a little bit and then declare war or something.
I'd completely forgotten this was a Mass Effect crossover because we haven't even mentioned Mass Effect.
Yeah. No, we just got to the Citadel right at the end. So yeah, that goes into the completed fix section, and we're never going to touch it again. I have acquired quite a number of new fix. This specifically harvested from the Ruby section.
Oh no.
And they're all terrible. No. I can already tell they're all terrible, unfortunately.
Well, of course they're all fucking terrible. It's the entire point of this show.
Well, sometimes we get good fix from the random selection.
We found like 6.
Yeah. Let's see if I can't find a funny one. Here, Walking the Plains, Magic the Gathering Ruby crossover. Yeah, so I'll be linking this in the Discord, and Atin, if you want to start us off, and I'll be getting water.
Why me?
Hold on, before we start. Walking the Plains, in which the Gatewatch gets a couple extra founding members. Ruby becomes a discount magical girl. Sun learns that nothing can't be killed if you throw enough mana at it. And Blake wonders how she got such weird friends. I'm assuming Gatewatch is part of the new season from Magic the Gathering.
It better be, cause I haven't exactly kept up on my magic, but don't remember no Gatewatch.
Anyway, take it away, sir. I'll be back.
Oh god damn it! I hate it when he leaves me alone. Ruby, Sun looked down the alley of the smog-choked city. He was in the remains of the city's industrial district, looking for his new friend. His grandfather said that when he was a kid Sun's age, the city had been renowned for its metallurgy. Sun wasn't sure what that was, but he could tell it wasn't happening now. The few jobs left in the city were tied to the CCT and shade. Fresh water had to be flown, and vegetables were grown in greenhouses, hiking up the price. Which is why his mom would kill him if she found out he was doing this. Son walked further down the alley, looking at one of the doors. Drawn on it was an 8-pointed star created from a red diamond and a pair of blue and white triangles. Son pressed his hand against it, and the star flared to life before the door swung open. Ruby's home was a repurposed warehouse. The bedrolls they had pinched a month back was rolled up in the corner. Good job there, buddy. Several coils of chain were on one of the tables around the place, with 2 sitting below it, and Ruby's inventions dominated the rest. What? I don't know where this story's going. Really not sure where that's going. Ruby, you here? He wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't. The younger girl tended to wander off at the drop of a hat, normally to ransack one of the other buildings for some part or another. Dropping the water bottle and bag onto one of the tables, he still wasn't sure how Ruby had moved them. Son walked over to another. On it was Ruby's newest creation. Son reached down, picking up the nunchaku. Like everything else Son had seen Ruby make, they were roughly made, with a chain clearly taken from some forgotten project. Unlike most things Ruby had made, however, the symbols on it were a uniform red. Son examined the weapon, passing it from hand to hand. It was interesting, for lack of a better word. Can't believe we're doing this. Do you have a better idea? Leave her alone? She's a little girl. We need an artificer. If I knew where Dak was, I'd ask him. But I don't, so we have no choice. Plus, we'll also have a warder on our side. She's a little girl who still hasn't gotten home after flaring. She's also primarily red and blue. If anything, we're doing the right thing by picking her up. Once we're done with this, we can bring her home, and she would never get there otherwise. Okay, so I guess we're starting off in the magic universe. But there's still stuff with the Ruby universe? Not really sure what's going on here. Really not sure what's going on here. You're right, Max isn't here. Where Sneaky is, I don't know. He just told me to start reading and walked off, so he might be dead. Don't you fucking blame this on me, Devil Spidey. This is not my fault. Oh, I hear him in the background. Yes. Probably getting harassed by his family again.
It is I. Alive.
Oh, there you are.
Anyway.
So, I'm really not sure what's going on here. Because they've mentioned things like CCT and Shade.
So,
and they're in
what I'm getting here is this is Magic the Gathering versified Ruby.
That's what it seems to be so far.
Like, it's Remnant, but Remnant's actually just another plane in Magic the Gathering. Did you know how that works?
No, I was gonna say that's what I can tell so far. And apparently Ruby runs a red-blue deck. Because she's primarily red and blue. So
I'm not quite getting this, yeah.
Yeah, and like something about weapons she made, and she's living in a warehouse, and I guess she stole a bedroll, and for some reason she has several coils of chain on a table.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense so far.
Let's see, where were you?
She's also primarily red and blue.
Son took a step back, clang, clang. Ruby, it's Gideon, are you there? Climbed up to the 2nd floor, we're coming in. Pushed the door open. Man with light brown skin and sideburns, and the other 2 were women. One with red hair and eyes, and the other with pointed ears. 3, 2, 1. The coils of chain were glowed with white and blue symbols. Fired themselves across the room. And they cried out in shock as their legs bound together, followed by their hands. blah blah blah.
All right, hold up. If these are supposed to be planeswalkers, because they're talking about how they need a red and blue, and an artificer, these are some of the least cautious, stupidest planeswalkers I've ever seen.
Yeah. Wrapping the blah blah blah, silencing, blah blah blah, ruby spells. Behind her floated a staff made from a rod of metal. 3 sigils. That would blow it up. Blah blah blah.
Oh, she's only 10 in this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is straight up. Yeah, this is what I thought. This is what I said it was earlier. This is Remnant, but Remnant is a plane on the Magic the Gathering universe, and it was always like that.
Yeah.
Not sure how I feel about this, because this basically it does what I always say you shouldn't do in fanfic, which is basically remove the entirety of the characters from the characters. Part of that is the setting. While it might be interesting to explore the what if Remnant was just a plane on Magic the Gathering, if you have your characters be 10, which means, Sun's 12 then.
Yeah.
If you have your characters be super young, so this is like years before they are who they are in the show, you're both removing the setting and the characters from the 2 quantities of questions that are being asked and answered, because you're not going to get the same characters that you're looking for if you're looking for it from the Ruby show angle, and you're not going to get the same setting if you're looking at it from the setting angle. So the only question left is the question that's being answered by this fanfiction. And I don't see any question being answered by this fanfiction. All I'm seeing is, oh, it's Remnant, but Magic the Gathering.
And here's the thing. You could have easily gotten most of what you want by just having it be a plane that no one had been to yet.
Yeah. Could have done that whole thing of, oh, planeswalkers start showing up or something, and then fights start happening across the Remnant between planeswalkers or whatever, and
or you could have just had reports of someone being able to control the Grim, because I mean, let's be honest, the Grim would be in a black deck, so you could have just had some some straight up black users wandering around, and then some white users show up to fight them.
Like it's not. There's other ways that could have, like, I don't claim to be an expert in writing, obviously.
None of us do, but we're gonna give our opinions anyway.
Yes. The author's a dumb shit to no one's surprise. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but at the same time...
It's not that they're dumb, it's just that they did this poorly.
They didn't follow the 3 questions that I pose. The question... Sorry, the plot, the setting, the characters. This is specifically for fanfiction, by the way. You already have half your advertising done for you when you're writing for fanfiction. But yeah, no, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. It's just
nothing here is bad.
There's no reason for me to stay. There's nothing here that's holding me in.
You say, let's just keep going. Cause
what are you doing here? We need you to make something for us. Blah 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 blah. I don't know also, who these people are. I don't know why they matter. Blah blah blah. Eating a red fruit. The kids playing. What did you need? We need you to keep something trapped alive. Mana, question mark? I'll explain later. So they don't...
So not everyone knows about...
Ley lines, as in all the ones on a plane at once. Oh yeah, because a 10-year-old could just make a device that could do that. Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Now, to be fair, earlier in the story, they did say Ruby wasn't their first choice.
I mean, yes. But
And
still, but that's like going, okay, we're desperate to have help with this. Let's choose someone that clearly is completely incapable of doing it. Like it's one thing to be like, okay, I don't think they can do it, so they're going to be our last option, and they aren't our first choice. And like,
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, theoretically, the point here being that, well, if you know, they have no chance if they don't try. Even if their odds are 1 in a million that she can make it, that is a 1 in a million chance that they did not possess before.
This is true. However, she's 10.
I agree with you on that.
It's setting off my bullshitometer.
Yeah.
Dispensing mana into the atmosphere and manipulating it if you can't, I can try. Blah blah blah. Where is he? He's outside. Beacon of mana. Breath hitched. So we got characters that maybe we're supposed to know if we know Magic the Gathering. These names aren't familiar to me.
I never paid attention to the lore of Magic. I just had fun playing a TCG and not being able to afford drugs because I spent all my money on Magic cards.
Indeed. Not quite.
Listen, man. I need that Black Lotus. I need it.
Pomegranate. Okay, good. We're talking about pomegranates now.
There's almost no mana. Blah blah blah. Whole plane.
Alright, so they are planeswalkers, got that confirmed. Blah 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 blah. Deals between
I still don't understand, like, why are the only two people in this story so far
even if they were no longer
Sun?
nigh omnipotent. Why aren't they nigh omnipotent anymore? Again, this is, yeah, Magic the Gathering lore is uncomfortably long. There is an extremely large amount of lore when it comes to Magic the Gathering. Which I don't blame when people don't get all of it. There's a lot.
I'm gonna say, if people want to just go play the card game, you can 100% just play the card game. No, Arn, we know how long the Elder Scrolls lore is.
Yeah, no, Magic the Gathering
Magic's
is
been around
way longer. Every season, they add, like, fucking games worth of lore.
Yeah, well, no, because he's saying, Magic the Gathering came out in 93.
Yeah.
And the first Elder Scrolls game came out in 94. But since then, Magic has had pretty much... They run a new season just about every
6 months.
Year? Oh, they do it every 6 months?
So basically...
I thought it was longer. I thought it was longer back when they
It's 2
first started.
seasons a year. In that, the, new season, so it's like, oh, this is the Kami season, right? That will come out, and then the, reiteration season will come out at the end of the year. And that's the, I guess you could say tournament grade season, where this is all the stuff that's legal in tournaments. It's where they update cards, it's, you know, etc.
Issue reprints,
yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
But so, the fact of the matter, and each new season has, what, at least 200 cards?
I wouldn't even know, but easily pages of lore with each season.
Well, yeah, because I was just saying, because like every new card has its own little bit of lore, and just on the card, and then to back
Well,
that
I mean,
up,
on top of that, they also do release lore with it, like just
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
general.
Like they do release lore, and then there's lore for all of the fucking there's expanded lore for all the cards essentially.
Yeah, it's a bit excessive in the terms of the sheer quantity of lore. And the other thing with it when it comes to between Magic the Gathering and Elder Scrolls is you don't need to know, what happened in X book detailing the history of X time period in the Elder Scrolls if you're writing a Skyrim story. Unfortunately, for Magic the Gathering, you kind of need to know fucking everything because of all the shit that's going on.
If you want to catch up on Magic the Gathering lore, you have to go back to the beginning of it and be like, okay, so it started on, I don't know, Chandelar or whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So it's a bit hard to write fan fiction for, is basically our long-winded point, is it's hard to write fan fiction for it.
Well, no, here's the thing. Depending on how you do it, you don't have to know the background. Because if you decide to just apply the mechanics of Magic, when I say the mechanics,
okay, yes, you are right. I have seen.
I mean things like
I have seen crossovers with it before, in which they were basically just like, we're going to use the Magic universe, but we're not really going to be delving into the lore part of it. More just
it's like we're just going to have planeswalkers
part of
and
it,
summons and stuff like that. You can totally do that. And in fact, it's probably better to do that if you're trying to write a crossover with Magic, because unless Magic is the primary is the primary part of the crossover, like you're saying, I'm going to cross something else with Magic as opposed to I'm going to cross like Magic is the main thing, but I'm going to throw in something else, as opposed to this is going to be Ruby, but with Magic the Gathering thrown in, or this is going to be Star Wars, but with Magic the Gathering thrown in.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
You don't have to focus real hard on Magic the Gathering, other than explaining, oh, there are these people called Planeswalkers, and if they have mana, they can summon crazy, strong beasts, and they can enslave people to their will. And it's really not very cool, but it leads to some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, the problem here is, though, they're trying to do lore. Or at least I think they're trying to do lore.
And even if they are trying to do lore, so far, for some reason, the only two characters we've got are Ruby and Sun, and apparently Sun has a mom in this one, who's just there. And
Ruby is apparently in Shade. For reasons.
She's in some city, and for some reason we've heard nothing about her family, or any of the other main characters.
Or the fact that everything's apparently a shithole. Is there even Grim anymore? Maybe not. 5 sigils lit up.
Blah blah blah. I need you to channel black and green mana.
Packing. Promise to bring me home. You're leaving. Okay. Wait, she's leaving.
Hold this, I'll be able to find you.
I'm gonna miss you. What's this? It's a beacon. I'll be able to find you and visit you. I made these for you. Learn how to use them. Oh, good. Oh, okay. She's giving him his weapon, his signature weapon.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you picked a doozy.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful world of we're not really invested in the characters here. The setting isn't making too much sense.
By the way, in this one, Ruby is 10.
Yes.
No, I've had you guys going in the background while I took care of some housework.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we could amuse you. Hopefully. Blah blah blah.
But yeah, no, it's just not gonna say.
No, okay, so they were
the characters.
Wait a minute. Okay, so they were in Vacuo.
Okay, so yeah, I wasn't wrong.
And now they're on a different plane.
Yeah. Um. No, Sun's apparently here again. He never left. Like, I just.
Don't stop fighting, I'm tapped. What's that mean?
It's just. Okay, I just. Imagining a bubble encasing remnant. All these levels where planeswalkers. We can survive the pure energy in between planes. Yeah, we need to go to a different world. Okay, so yeah, this is just. Eldrazi. Okay. So yeah, we just straight up have characters I don't give a fuck about. Interacting with characters that I normally would give a fuck about, except that they're not the characters that I normally would give a fuck about because they're about 8 years younger. 6 years younger. What I miss, I've been sleeping. You missed a well-written attempt at a Magic the Gathering Ruby Cross, in which the characters don't draw you in, the setting doesn't draw you in, and the question of what about the plot is answered with, Anything else you want to add? Or is that about covers?
I don't know. Towards the end, okay, it looks like they got back to Remnant, and then she meets Crow. I still don't understand the problem. Like, she's stuck in Vacuo, but she's on Remnant. My problem with that being, even if she doesn't have a scroll, like, a 10-year-old girl can't go to the CCT tower and say, hey, I'm super lost and confused and I don't know where I am. Can I call my family?
Okay, so,
and it's not
it looks like Ruby flared as a planeswalker 6 months ago and got catapulted across the plains. And she's spent time making deals with other planeswalkers to try and get her to Remnant.
Right, but then here's my problem. She gets back to Remnant because when the story starts, they are in Vacuo.
Yeah.
Because when they go to whatever other plane they went to, Sun's like, okay, but where are we? We can't be that. I know we're not near Vacuo, but where the hell are we? And she's like, oh, well, we're on another plane.
Apparently, on top of all of that, Ruby's not super fast anymore. Now she builds artifacts.
For some reason.
And apparently Remnant is experiencing an economic slump. Yes, a 10-year-old became a planeswalker because reasons.
Trust us, we're not the ones writing this.
Eldrazi Titans, blah blah blah. It just a lot more terms and words that only really hardcore Magic the Gathering users would know.
It's not that this is badly written. It's
no.
Not badly.
Oh,
written.
it's not. It's not in the slightest badly written.
No. I'm just clarifying how we feel. Like we don't think this is a poorly written story. We don't think it's badly written. The grammar is perfectly fine.
The grammar's
the person
fine.
Understands
fine.
how to write dialogue.
Fucking hell, the plot's just fine. It's just completely uninteresting to me. I'm not interested in this at all.
It doesn't make any sense to someone who doesn't. It will make very little sense to someone who doesn't know anything about Magic. They've mixed universes in a way that doesn't really explain anything, while changing a bunch of stuff and making it more complicated.
Yeah.
And like I said, there seems to be a pretty big plot hole. Granted, we were skimming, so maybe I missed it. But she kept saying how she's trying to get back to Remnant. She's on Remnant because they were in Vacuo.
But she's on the wrong part of Remnant.
Which, okay, she's on the wrong part of Remnant, I get that. But Sun says there's a CCT.
Okay, so it looks like they're the same technology level, even with planeswalkers.
Which, again, doesn't make any sense. Because the way that planeswalkers change everything.
Yeah.
And again, my point being, she's in a city with a CCT. She doesn't even need a scroll. Like, she's in a CCT. Surely, a small little 10-year-old could just go and be like, "Excuse me, I'm lost. Can I borrow your scroll to call my dad? Or my uncle? Whoever?"
I don't, yeah, I just, it's a steep lore cliff to even, like, enjoy this story.
Which, in and of itself, is not bad.
No, it's not. It's not bad at all.
It's a barrier to entry.
It's a significantly large barrier to entry. A barrier that we cannot cross because we do not have the requisite knowledge.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got something else here. A Star Wars Halo. Oh boy,
this will be terrible. Go
this
for
name. Star Wars Halo at War.
All right, I'll take the summary on this one if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
All right. Darth Sidious, Emperor of the Galactic Empire, used his foresight along with his cunning mind to rise to power. His visions allowed him to eliminate any threat to his rule. Now the dark side whispers of a weakened yet worthy foe in a neighboring galaxy. The war machine of the Empire is now giving its undivided attention to the UEG and its protector, the UNSC. A new war has begun. All right, so couple of problems with this. First of all, the dark side does not whisper of worthy foes.
Yes.
The dark side doesn't give a shit about that. The dark side would be whispering of people that you can easily beat.
On top of that, there is no extragalactic stuff going on in Star Wars.
No, the Vong.
Okay, yes. But they're non-canon now. Aside from them being non-canon now, they are in the galaxy now.
Yes, they came from beyond the galaxy, and they entered into it.
By intergalactic, I'm talking about, like, fighting outside the galaxy. Yes, there's threats coming from outside the galaxy that are now in the galaxy.
One threat.
But it's not like it's a war taking place in multiple galaxies.
Yeah.
But the other problem there is, the dark side only covers... Well, the dark side in specific to the, Force, Alchemy, dark side veil thing that he has set up. Only covers the galaxy that he's currently in.
No, we don't know if it doesn't reach beyond that galaxy. The reason no one could detect the Vong coming was because the Vong were dead to the Force.
Fair enough. Still wouldn't make much sense, though, considering that there needed to be a, from what I remember, from ye old times when I read Star Wars books, there actually had to be a lot of dark side alchemy obelisk posts or whatever Pelagius used. Like, a lot of them throughout the galaxy specifically placed to get this veil to cover the galaxy.
It changes depending on, like, what's going on in the time.
But still, my point is, it's not like he placed, like, 3.
The last time it had been discussed, there was some kind of, like, evil Sith shrine that the Jedi Temple had been built on top of to, like, contain it or something. And so Sidious, basically they were sitting on a nexus of the dark side, and Sidious was like, oh, I can just use this to blind them. Because they didn't start going blind until Sidious. Like...
Yes. But what I'm saying is the whole dark alchemy thing that Pelagius was doing.
Yeah, but even leaving that aside...
But that was on multiple planets, though, and my point there is that if we're going by that one, what Pelagius was setting up, it would cover the galaxy, because if it needed a significant number of planets inside the galaxy to cover the galaxy, then I'm really going to doubt that it's going to cover any other galaxy, considering the massive amount of space between galaxies comparatively.
Yeah, now could the Force show him another galaxy? Yes. But here's the thing this author seems to be forgetting. While Palpatine, yeah, I know, I was trying not to burp. I was trying not to burp into the mic when I garbled my words there. While Palpatine is evil, he is also pragmatic.
Yeah.
He's very good at having his cake and eating it too. Like, for instance, there was a Death Star engineer who he needed to keep working on the Death Star. But he also needed a way to punish him for his failures. And Palpatine had found a way to move people's essences into clone bodies. Both himself and other people. So he decided the best way to torture this dude was to come up with the most horrible ways to inflict death that he could, and then at the last minute, shove him into a new body. All of this to say, Palpatine was very careful. He didn't just do things randomly. He would not gear his entire empire to fucking go to another galaxy and fight a bunch of people who don't know who he exists, who are probably never going to show up, and are almost certainly not even a millionth of a percent going to ever be a threat to him.
Well, it's not even that. It's not
Sneaky,
even that.
What I'm saying, when he can't even keep the galaxy he's in under control. Like, maybe if you decide, if this was some kind of alternate universe where the Rebel Alliance was doing way worse, or
if it was some sort of alternate universe where literally Palpatine controlled the entire galaxy, then I could believe maybe waging war in another galaxy. But, like, even aside from that, there's still the threats and shit that exist in the galaxy itself, on top of the shit that's implied to exist outside of the galaxy that Palpatine almost definitely knows about.
I was going to say, even if you ignore the fact that he doesn't yet control the galaxy, there are still the Sirook, which he hasn't dealt with yet, because those don't they don't get dealt with until the end of Palpatine's reign.
Yeah.
So there's still that. There's the fact that he most definitely does not control the galaxy yet, because Palpatine is alive.
And so anyway, point being, why the fuck is he starting a war with a potentially another galaxy-spanning species when he doesn't even control his own shit? Unless this is an AU in which he does control his own shit, at which point...
He doesn't, because this is starting off with Vader's hunt for the Rebel Alliance.
Okay, so, yeah, derails too. Alright, fair enough.
Darth Vader was alone in his chambers. Surprise.
Darth Vader was alone in his chambers aboard the Super Star Destroyer Executor.
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 Pretty sure it's Executor.
His
You know what? Let's just compromise. Executor the Pokemon.
Indeed. His hunt for the Rebel Alliance had been with results. Was it pregnant? Had been with results as his troops took care of the last remaining rebels on the planet Sullust. He had been forced to go down only one time to the hot
Speaking of which,
planet.
I'm right on the pronunciation. It's Executor.
Superstar Destroyer.
Yes, Superstar Destroyers.
Presence broke many of the rebels. When the day was over and he was back on his flagship,
The rebels had essentially lost. There is no essentially losing.
Their weapons destroyed, their ships were destroyed, most importantly, their resolve was destroyed. No, I'm pretty sure that's, like, pretty fucking lost.
That's not essentially lost. That is, they lost. That is victory, but that's a little nitpick. Moving on.
The locals were sympathetic to the rebels before he arrived. Now they were staunch followers of the Empire. I don't think that's how that works. Just throwing that out there. It was common for him to immediately report, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, ceased his musings, meditation room, dark hood of Sheev Palpatine, blah blah blah, Dark Cities, Dark Sidious, blah blah blah, like bidding, rebels at Sullust, blah 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 blah, wiped out within the rotation. Well
Excuse
done.
me.
Huh?
I'm just reading ahead a little bit. I'll raise my problem when you get to the line.
Well done, old friend. Rebellion is now on the run. I have seen a new threat, one that surpasses the Rebel Alliance. A new threat, indeed, Lord Vader. I don't think Palpatine ever calls him Lord Vader.
No, he does. He calls him Lord Vader sometimes.
Okay.
From time to time.
My problem with this is the rebellion is on the run now and will be unable to do anything anytime soon. Now, while that might fit with Palpatine's arrogance, the rebels were never dumb enough to do that. Like, sure, you might destroy this rebel cell, but even by the time they got, like, halfway through the war, even Palpatine had realized crushing one cell does not mean, no matter how big the cell might look, we haven't beaten the rebels.
Yeah.
We won't beat the rebels until we get Mon Mothma and Princess Leia and Bail Organa, and the list of people who we need to get is it's maybe like a 15 person list, but until you have those 15 people, you basically have not beaten the Alliance, because they will continue to rally people, they will continue to help smuggle things, and they will continue to use their personal funds to keep it going.
Indeed. Blah blah blah. They live in the unknown regions, and upon my order, probe droids were sent out. Really, probe droids? So intergalactic probe droids?
No. He's saying they're in the unknown. Now I'm confused because it says they're from a neighboring galaxy, but now it's saying they're in the unknown regions.
Yeah.
The unknown regions is a very specific part of the spiral arms of whatever galaxy Star Wars
Ten made a dish author doesn't know that much about Star Wars as they think they do.
Yeah, because, like, the unknown regions are a very specific area. And while...
And not only that, the UNSC was actually fairly spread out, all things considered. Yes, they did not... No, I will admit, they did not populate a majority of the galaxy. However, they were fairly spread out because of the whole split space thing.
And even if you ignore the UNSC, the Covenant was way more spread out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes.
So here's the thing. Even if the UNSC's beaten the Covenant already, the Covenant has to have existed.
Yeah.
While it's possible that all of this happened in the unknown regions, and that they went down completely different technology trees than anyone else in the Star Wars universe. Again, possible, not likely, but possible. You have the problem of the UNSC is based on Earth.
Yeah.
And what, Max, does the opening crawl of Star Wars say?
Why you gotta drag me into this?
Because I felt like making sure you were awake.
You did
Yeah, a
sound
galaxy
asleep.
far, far away.
A galaxy far, far away!
Specifically, actually, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So there's no way this is happening.
Well, I mean, we
'Cause
don't know when
Halo
Halo
is-
takes place.
Halo is the future of Earth.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
It is explicitly the future.
yeah.
So, anyway, ignoring the time aspect.
Ignoring
many people
time,
do.
they take place in different galaxies.
Yes.
Yes.
Human
Galaxies are pretty
coalition,
far
blah
already.
blah blah.
This is-
Droids were able to gather intel without revealing themselves.
Excuse me, you expect me to
Um,
believe that Oni wouldn't find some probe droids? It's not like Imperial probe droids are super stealthy.
The unknown regions were.
They're
blah, blah,
darn
blah.
near the opposite of stealthy.
State of peace.
I thought
with
they
the
were
Empire,
situationally stealthy.
Possible threat.
They're situationally stealthy as long as no one sees them.
Yeah. Like the ultimate plot camouflage.
If left unchecked, the UEG could expand. I dislike surprises, so I'm gonna fight them.
Mate, you don't have anything to worry about. They're not unchecked. There's no way they're
I
unchecked.
was gonna say, not only are they not unchecked. Now here's the thing. If Palpatine had been like, they possess fleets of ships with giant they have successfully weaponized mass drivers.
Yeah.
I could have seen Palpatine using that as justification, because the average UNSC ship would actually do really, really well against ships in Star Wars, because unlike Halo shields, in Star Wars, the energy shields are
Untitled
just
energy?
energy shields.
Yeah.
They do not stop physical projectiles. So while you would be able to shoot turbo lasers at a UNSC ship and do direct damage...
Wait, isn't that what proton torpedoes are all about, though?
Yes, that's one of the reasons proton torpedoes are so dangerous, is because... no, I'm sorry, not proton torpedoes can't bypass shields.
Okay.
I think most of the shields actually can deflect
No, they
physical
can't.
projectiles.
Missiles, yes, but the thing about, like, for some reason they can stop, like, missiles, but they can't stop... I think it's concussion missiles that they can't stop, because those are actual missiles, and they can't stop physical projectiles like mass driver slugs. Because...
Yeah, no, I'm not crazy. No, they did have more than one type of shield.
Okay.
They
They're-
do, but
like, they
mass
are-
drivers can still hit directly. I know this because that was always the big thing about mass drivers was, oh, they bypass shields. That's why everyone hated them so much.
I don't even remember what a mass driver is.
I'm sorry, slug throwers.
Yeah.
In Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were called, slug throwers.
I don't
Slug
remember
throwers,
anything.
also referred to as firearms, were any projectile weapon that fired solid projectiles enveloped in energy, as opposed to the energy bolts of a blaster. Slugs could be fired by weapons such as the scattergun or the cyclo rifle, sometimes used by the Tusken Raiders. Blah blah blah. A variety of slug throwers are Sing. Slug throwers were surprisingly useful against lightsabers. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, like I remember them being good against lightsabers because the lightsaber couldn't physically vaporize the metal in time. As for it going through deflector shields, if it was going through an energy deflector, it probably would.
Okay, hold on. Now I had to go. That was canon. I had to go into the legends
Oh,
section.
God. Of
Were
course.
weapons that use an explosive chemical. Yeah, in Legends, Slug Lords were weapons that use an explosive chemical to launch a solid projectile at high velocity.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were just guns.
Yep.
They're literally just guns.
Okay, so in the old real canon,
Nothing
guns were
that
guns,
fucker.
and apparently people disliked them because shields didn't stop them. Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough.
No,
They were unable to be completely deflected by a lightsaber. Their popular forces the explosive nature for intimidation.
yeah.
Okay,
Regained
well,
stealth.
see, this is where I'm getting confused, right? So either they're okay. Let's run with what the author's saying right now, and the UEG is actually taking place inside the same galaxy as Star Wars. Fine, whatever. That means the Covenant's not a thing, which means that the insurrectionists at best are a thing.
Yeah.
At worst, they aren't either. The UNSC actually spreads pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. I'm just really confused by the time period and the place this is supposed to be taking place with. Like, is this going to be revealed? I was going to say, is it going to be revealed to us? Like, oh, actually, this is a intergalactic colony set up by the UNSC. But then I was like, wait a second. Hold on. He knows about the UEG. Why would he know about the UEG if this was a colony?
We'll find out. Or maybe not. It depends. Let's keep going.
I know, this is just boring. I mean, again, this is another example of a fic. There's nothing wrong with it. Specifically. Besides the minor plot issues where we don't exactly know what time and place and where they are. In terms of Halo. But it's not like the normal garbage we encounter. It's like we're horrible spelling and just blatant plot holes and terrible characterization. It's just not interesting.
Yeah.
Question.
Answer.
What the fuck did Palpatine strap on those pro-droids to get to another galaxy?
That's the other thing. Either it was in the unknown regions, in which case it didn't go to another galaxy, or...
Yeah, but the unknown regions were stupidly dangerous.
Yeah,
and were washed over by the Chiss, who might have had intergalactic capabilities. I haven't read enough of I haven't read enough of the things. No, but all I know is the Chiss were like, "Yeah, we're a bit more advanced than you guys. We don't have time to talk with you though. We're kind of dealing with intergalactic threat. Yeah, we're kind of dealing with everything out here that's trying to break in here. What do you mean break in? Yeah, there's shit outside the galaxy trying to get in. Oh.
Well, not even just that, but a bunch of horrible things. Like.
Yeah. Granted, that galaxy's pretty horrible already. Like, once you learn that Sarlaccs are actually on more than just Tatooine, you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
Why?
Aren't they like a fungus or something?
No, but there's a few dozen of them, I think, on record, that are mentioned in novels and companion books. It's just like, why does this exist? Like, there's a planet with more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently this is the UNSC. Did you find anything? Nope, it's just rocks, blah 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 blah, no insurrectionists. Okay, so there's insurrectionists. Something banged up the comm tower. Any progress? Blah blah blah. Sarge is back. Okay, we're describing guns. Cut the jokes, Marines. Blah 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 blah. Don't make me force you. They started cheering. Blah blah blah. Up yours.
Okay, so I finally found what I was looking for.
Oh.
They did, in fact, have mass. There were slug throwers. Slug throwers were anything that was a handheld gun, essentially. Mass drivers are what you think of. They are mass drivers. And blah blah blah. History, blah 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 blah.
Sorry,
Unlike conventional beam weaponry, these heavy orange rounds were not affected by ray shields, allowing these weapons to bypass enemy shielding and destroy it. So I was right. They did go past the shields.
I like how you ignore the part where I mentioned that there are at least two different types of shields, and
There
mentioned
are
that
two
it would
different
go
types of
through
shields.
it
There are two
would
different
go
types
through
of
the energy
shields.
deflector, but there was still a projectile deflector.
I was going to say, but most ships don't have those projectile deflectors.
I want to say I don't believe you on that, but that's because I'm used to the very paranoid characters that are usually the focus of Star Wars novels.
I do believe, post the Old Republic, deflector shield, the projectile shields, basically lost relevance. Because a lot of tech was lost in the fall of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Just curious, how did they lose tech?
Okay,
Because reasons.
so while Max is correct, yes, there were two different kinds of shields. And I'm looking in the legend sections. A particle shield or navigational shield was a type of deflector shield used to deflect physical projectiles or space debris. The shield had to be deactivated to launch spacecraft, such as shuttles or fighters, or deactivated if a starship wished to fire its own projectiles.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see anything else.
Firstly, I like the idea of the relativistic shields. Fuck you, quantum theory, we figured you out.
It has very little to say about particle shields. Let's see if the canon has... Nope. The canon doesn't even have them yet.
Yeah, no, apparently they're just hinted at in canon.
Like, they were used, but they were navigational shields. As far as I can tell, they basically existed to stop some projectiles, but they were mostly used to prevent, like, micrometeorite impacts when you're flying through space.
Although it looks like they added a third type of shield within canon, a concussion shield. I'm just like,
what the hell's a concussion shield?
It repels space debris and other solid objects. I'm like, so it does what a particle shield does, but not as good.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
like,
Max,
that'd
I'm under the
better be low energy.
Max, here you go. Here's something that'll keep us busy for a while. There's the entire category for shields.
You done?
Of which there are many of them.
Alright.
Droid shield, force field, personal, physical, shield generator, thermal shields. Holy shit.
Anyway, blah blah blah.
And none
blah,
of them are going to
blah,
answer
blah,
our question.
Blah 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 blah. Military transmissions. Doesn't matter now. We're reporting in. Oni spooks are going to investigate this. Dead Marine. Jesus Christ, what's going on? Something burned into his neck. Searching for clues. It turns out there was a machine floating inside the container. Machine made a hiss and floated forward, stabbing him. Muffled screams. Imperial Viper droid fled the scene. Blah 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 blah. What the hell is that thing? Who cares? Kill it. Watch out. Keep it occupied. I'll flanking it. I got it. It's dead. Let's call him back up. Imperial stealth ship. Blah blah blah. Walls of text. Walls of text. We've got intel. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Prepare the jump to hyperspace. Our destination is the terminus. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're jumping back to the UNSC. Welcome everyone. We found the aliens. Oh no, the aliens.
Not more aliens! Or did we already
okay,
establish? Did they establish the Covenant isn't a thing yet?
Yes. How can we be sure these events are connected? How can we be certain it was not the Storm Covenant or the Insurrectionists? The Storm Covenant, which is the remnants of the Covenant post Halo 3.
Yes.
Which means, well, it doesn't mean much actually, really. It means this is post Covenant Halo, which is a problem, considering the Covenant owned a good chunk of the galaxy.
A very large percentage of it, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the problems with the Covenant, because they had a lot of resources to call upon, and a lot of troops. And the UNSC were the only ones losing worlds, except that one time that they sacrificed like a couple hundred threes to take a world.
No, they never took a world. The threes were sacrificed to destroy a shipyard, and I believe to give an evacuation time, but I don't they were never sent to take a world, I don't think.
No, they did land on a world once. I think it was supposed to be like an industrial world. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they didn't succeed in taking it, but
Hold on.
I do remember. First book for the threes.
Right. No, I'm looking. Spartan threes. Insurrection War, the Battle of New Constantinople, and the Benezia Asteroid Belt. 9 months after they were activated, they were massacred in Operation Prometheus. Beta Company. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna look at the battles they were in real quick. Right. Gamma was never deployed. Delta was never deployed. No, Delta was never even there. So, Sneaky, the one that destroyed Beta Company took place on a moon. The one that destroyed Alpha took place in a, quote, a major Covenant shipyard.
Okay.
And they were just supposed to blow up as many of the reactors as they could. The only thing Beta Company was ever involved in was Operation... Well, the only thing that gets mentioned was Operation Torpedo, which is where they all died.
Yeah.
Nothing about this.
What the hell? Wait, what?
Constantinople, nothing about it.
Okay, so
Asteroid Belt, nothing about it.
Hyperlane jumping is apparently impossible to detect for the UNSC.
Oh, good! We have 2 different kinds of FTL in the... Oh, that's not going to go badly at all.
I informed the Satirical about this. Okay, so again, this is Star Wars and all of its existential threats sharing the same galaxy with Halo and all of its existential threats. Of the Halos located across the galaxy that just so happen to have never been found by the Star Wars universe, even though all the humans and the Satirical have all found the Halos themselves, though, and they all have been there.
They didn't. The only Halos that were found were like Installation
3 or 4.
01, 02, and 03, I think. Because
and then the
remember,
arc.
the reason it was a big deal that they found installation, whatever the installation the first Halo game takes place at, the reason it was a big deal was because they were searching for the Halos. It was like, oh, this is what will let us ascend.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, though, is they were scattered across the galaxy for maximum dispersion to annihilate all life-sustaining life for the Flood. And 3 of them were visited by humans.
Right, but what I'm
3
saying,
installations, which are spread across the galaxy, were visited by humans.
By accident. Sneaky.
Yeah, I know, but that's not the point. What I'm saying is that the Star Wars galaxy should have discovered these Halos because their population is significantly higher and exponentially so than compared to the Covenant
but you
or
gotta
the
remember,
UNSC.
the Halos were put out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, this is true. However,
and that's what my point was. 1 was found by accident. Then, because 1 was found by accident, they were able to find 2 others.
You guys do know the author's been treating them as being in 2 completely separate galaxies, right? They're not going to find the Halos because they're in the wrong fucking galaxy for them.
No, they're in the same galaxy.
They have. Here's the problem, Max. Either they're in different galaxies or they're not. The problem is, he talks about Palpatine sending stuff to the unknown
left
regions.
unchecked, this UEG could expand its power base and expand to our galaxy.
Yes, I know, Max, but he also says they were in the unknown regions. The unknown regions is you already know this, it's a specific part of Star Wars space.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I could
that,
also claim the unknown regions is the rest of the entire fucking universe, and still be right.
However, the other problem I have with this, then, is how the fuck are the probes getting to intergalactic flight? Like...
That's what I asked earlier. How did he do this? He's clearly treating them as being in 2 completely separate galaxies, and apparently just grabbed a random word from a Legends book without actually having read anything outside of episodes 1 through 7 and the new shit. I don't think the unknown regions are mentioned at all in the new stuff.
No, they aren't.
Also, my other little problem with this is, okay, so they are in 2 separate galaxies. How the fucking hell is the UNSC even supposed to make it to the Star Wars galaxy? Unless this is just going to be a purely Star Wars galaxy invasion of the UNSC galaxy.
Well, no, but here's the thing. Even then, how... Like, hyperspace can shave a lot of time off a trip, but going from one end of the galaxy to the other can still take weeks or months.
Yeah.
And that's just crossing a galaxy.
Yeah, now you gotta multiply the distance of the galaxy by like 10 to get the distance in between the galaxies. Both slip space and the hyperspace are not fast methods of travel, all things considered. They are fast, obviously, but they're not like, bink, we're here, fast.
Well, you say, and in fact, it's way less likely that the Star Wars ships could ever even make it, because as far as I know, there's no fuel required to enter slip space. They just need the generator, and they rip a hole in reality, and they go. So the only limitation on the UNSC ship is the amount of provisions that they can fit on there. But in Star Wars, hyperspace directly has fuel. Like, you can't enter hyperspace if you don't have enough of the
from what I remember, Star Wars uses helium for non-nuclear reactors.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me see.
I don't know. They require fuel.
I do know
require power.
That the UNSC uses nuclear reactors, and like their reactors can go a fairly long time without needing refueling.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm just not seeing the whole.
Uh-oh.
Oh. anyway, while you figure that out, blah blah blah. We should warn the Saikili. Blah blah blah. We need to rebuild our military. Blah blah blah. In Forerunner Worlds, Zeta Halo. Off topic. Blah blah blah. Coruscant. Primitives. These primitives use slug throwers as weapons. How are slug throwers a threat to us? Okay, yeah, he's being properly treated as an idiot. Vader wanted to lash out at him. The Moff was one of many to see the UEG as primitive. Vader knew otherwise. He could feel it in the Force. These humans in this other galaxy were far more dangerous. Palpatine, blah blah blah, a bunch of names I don't know. Lapdogs, all of them. His master's backing, he'd be choked to death. He brought his own trusted officers. With all due respect, but a Marine shredded the probe droid, takes blaster bolts to penetrate that armor. Their weapons are on par with ours. I suggest you listen to the captain. Everyone calm down, Your Majesty. We should invade the nearest planet and build a base on it. Alright, Thrawn, you're smart. I will leave you in charge of all the fighting. There's threats inside our own borders and on our borders. The amount of forces I can dedicate to this new war with this new faction is not endless. I'll be dedicating a lot of it though. We will be attacking Harvest. Oh boy, contact Harvest 2, Electric Boogaloo, Star Wars edition. Blah blah blah, hobble blah blah, hobble blah, hobble blah. There's a rebel. I've heard of this admiral. He achieved his rank, but is quite competent. Blah 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 blah. Vader thought for a moment. First attack ended in failure. Could be very dangerous. Inform the admirals. Enemy contact the rebels. Oh no, Rebel Alliance plus UEG. Whatever will we do? The rebels have found out about the UEG. They're gonna make contact with them. Alright, back to the UNSC. Oh boy, we're testing guns. Okay, we're talking about the tank, blah blah blah. New engine is making it better. Blah blah blah. Isn't that the new Mammoth? Oh, okay, so we're just gonna roll out all the vehicles so we can explain them all. Okay, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Oni. The reason you're here, blah blah blah, your team will be assembled, blah blah blah, DEFCON, blah blah blah, threat will arrive, it's probably going to be here on Harvest. Can we get reinforcements? Good thinking, Lieutenant, we'll get reinforcements. Why is that good thinking? I thought that was fucking obvious. Oh hey, we're being attacked. Can we get reinforcements before we get attacked? Oh, that's great. You're a fucking genius. Holy shit. Oh, fuck.
System.
There we go.
I think. Wasn't it?
Fucking okay, so the I was wondering why you guys got super quiet.
You didn't notice that you'd left the Discord chat.
No, I didn't leave the Discord chat. It said I was still in streaming. It was just not.
You were knocked offline on Discord for us for
Yeah.
a couple minutes.
And that's why we were confused, because we're like, he's still streaming.
Yeah,
Just stay in the chat.
Talking to himself.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's what I normally do. Yeah, nothing much. It was just summary. Oh, haha, the UNSC are primitive. Oh, but what if they contact the Rebel Alliance? Switches to Rebel Alliance. Haha, we have intercepted communications. There is another species out there. We should ask them for help. Switches back to UNSC. Oh, hey, we're just gonna show off all of our guns and talk about them. Alright, switches back to over Harvest. So they're about to be attacked.
So wait, has the Covenant not attacked yet?
No, this is post Covenant. This is post Halo 4, dude. Or Halo 3, post Halo 3 at minimum.
Oh, okay, but wait, did Harvest get recolonized?
Oh my fucking god.
Because remember, they glassed it. They glassed Halo. They glassed Harvest.
Yeah, apparently Harvest got recolonized according to this author.
Escape
oh
from
my
homeless,
god, Discord.
Retaliation, Harvest campaign.
Marked as red. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, so it is not confirmed that Harvest was fixed. And additionally, I want to point out, remember, Reach never got fully glassed because they were busy digging for Forerunner artifacts.
Yes. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. So
No, because of my disconnect, I now have to scroll down to the bottom on every single channel on every single server that I'm in.
Ooh.
Yay. It's always fun.
I think if you post a message, it will drop you straight to the bottom. So maybe try posting the next story.
No, there's too many. There's too many. Why did it reset all my fucking settings?
Who knows?
Because apparently that's what you secretly wanted this entire time, Sneaky.
Fucking god damn it.
I am sorry for your loss, Sneaky.
Anyway, Atin, can you continue on from 2 days later while I fix this shit?
Yeah, hold on.
Where's the 2 days later?
I just have to scroll down to it. Harvest.
Wow, you got way the fuck down in the chapter.
Admiral Kovalik? Kovalik? Max?
I'm gonna say it's Kovalik.
Looked at the
Probably
inky
be
black
wrong.
space from the viewport on the bridge. It had been quite some time since he was sent to Harvest with additional ships to reinforce the rebuilding colony world. He'd been tasked to defend the planet from their unknown foe, so in addition to the standard defensive fleet guarding Harvest, he had command over both his own battle group and the ships granted to him by High Comm. What happened to Cole? What happened to Admiral Cole?
Didn't Cole get fucked?
Yes, he did, but he was in charge of defending Harvest. 2/5 of them being heavy frigates, the rest were destroyers and cruisers, but he also had 3 new Poseidon-class light carriers to give a fighter boost. Fighters were useless against the Covenant. They were so useless.
Mm-hmm.
Kovalik didn't know whether it was enough to defend the planet, but he would make the best of it. If things got too rough to handle, he would leave the system and join the nearest fleet as ordered. Nearest fleet? He has a fleet himself! Leaving Harvest to fend off enemies by itself left a bad taste in his mouth, but orders were orders. He wasn't going to leave without a fight, though. There was still a chance he could push the enemy back. No, there wasn't. Cole had one of the biggest fleets in UNSC history, and he couldn't stop them. Admiral, my scanners are picking something up, the sensor officer reported from her station. What's wrong? Detecting movement close to our borders, multiple contacts entering our space now. There's a lot of them. Val turned away from the console. Others at the bridge looked outside. Triangular ships began to appear, but not out of slip-placed portals. They arrived without warning. But they're somehow detecting them.
Yep.
Just want to point out the problem with that. Kovalek gaped at the large amount of ships that arrived. Get me a read on those vessels. 70 ships or more. Excuse me. If this is 70 Star Destroyers, I have a huge problem with this. But I'm going to wait till we get further on. The vessels are contacting us. Man in a gray uniform. Small scar. Sea trespassing. I am Admiral Brimo Monat of the Galactic Empire. Why not just use an already well-known admiral? Why not just use why not just use like Pelion or Thrawn or
Oh, Thrawn's in charge of this whole campaign, by the way.
Oh, Thrawn is? Okay. Good. But then why is Thrawn not talking?
Because the author's a dumbass.
That's why I didn't think Thrawn was in charge. Because if Thrawn was in charge, you can bet that cocky, arrogant, blue-skinned prick would be the one to introduce himself and tell them to surrender. There's no question about it. That's what Thrawn would do. First of all, Thrawn never missed a chance to toot his own horn about being a Grand Admiral. And I can't blame him. It's a pretty cool position. But Galactic Empire, me and my fleet are here to inform you that your world will be absorbed into our glorious empire. I ask for your immediate and unconditional surrender. Go down with the fight. You're mistaken. I'm giving you one chance to stand down so we can talk it out. He knew that even for primitives, using slug throwers would be almost impossible to convince them to surrender. You are outnumbered. Go to hell, you Imperial scum. Okay, I don't know why he's instantly telling them that they're scum. Also, Palpatine wasn't exactly the biggest fan of diplomacy, but he did know that sometimes it was useful. Why would he not order his admirals? Or even if Palpatine's not in charge, and Thrawn's in charge, Thrawn would make at least a cursory attempt at diplomacy. Like, Thrawn would have at least gone, hey, how about you join the Empire and we beat the shit out of the Covenant for you? Does that sound like a deal, guys?
Well, Covenant's gone, bro.
Wait, the Covenant is gone?
Yeah, dude, I told you, it's the Storm Covenant now.
Okay, I know, but the Storm Covenant are still around.
Yeah, but the Storm Covenant are about as much of a threat as the Insurrectionists are, okay?
Okay, fine. But even still, you don't think Thrawn would make at least a cursory attempt at diplomacy?
I'm not saying he wouldn't, I'm just saying...
You are correct.
Honestly,
I am incorrect about the Covenant.
I could see this being the point at which someone would be like, so... that's
Star
not your only
Wars,
problem.
Halo at War.
I have a whole list of shit if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Star Wars,
At which
Halo
point,
at War.
whoever's on was like, why haven't you told the Emperor about this? Well, it makes you think I haven't.
Yeah.
In which Star Wars invades Halo, literally.
Mac cannons, all pilots of their fighters, and form ground command. Boy, now I feel really bad for their fighter ships, because they're gonna get destroyed by TIE fighters.
Yeah, they kind of are. Blah blah blah.
The Galactic Empire, blah 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 blah. The
oh yes, yeah. Oh no. Are they?
Actually, hang on. The fighters that the UNSC uses, they use physical projectiles, don't they?
Yeah.
They do, but they're also unshielded.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they still might stand a chance, though. They should be able to break through TIE fighters. TIE fighters, at best, are going to have ray shields.
Oh no, TIE fighters had no shields. None.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking up the UNSC fighters. So the Strike Fighter and the Longsword, which, as far as I know, those are the only things they had.
Something called Falcon. as
Rotary
well.
cannons, ventral missiles. Oh yes, they did have nukes. I forgot about that.
No, wait, that would have been an atmosphere fighter. Never mind.
The exo-atmospheric multi-role broadswords. Okay, so if they have broadswords, the broadswords did have some shielding. Not a lot, but they did have some shielding. But they basically never went into mass production.
Blah, blah, blah. The Imperial has a boner for General Grievous. Blah,
Wait,
blah,
what?
blah.
Why?
Because he was so amazing.
He was a filthy alien.
They were ugly, but they were large amounts of weapons.
Not everyone in the Empire is a horrible, horrible racist. Just, like 98% of them.
Can nukes even explode in outer space?
Yes, they can.
Sort of.
It's way, way less damaging. And the chief benefit is the EMP that it generates at that point. That's the chief benefit.
I mean, an atom splitting is still an atom splitting, even if there's no oxygen. So.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about nuclear bombs. They don't exactly need oxygen to go boom.
I mean, like, sure, there's really not going to be a pressure wave.
Helped.
Yeah, like, you kind of miss the pressure wave, but that's still a lot of energy being released.
Yeah.
That's still a free EMP, and depending on where it hits, you probably just vaporize a small chunk, whatever you aimed at.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep in mind
So,
though if it hits
unfortunately,
directly,
they don't have any information on like top speeds of things like the longsword. But they don't. I don't think they ever mention anything like inertial dampeners in Halo, which would mean even if they could compete on a flat line with TIE fighters can pull maneuvers, assuming that they do not have inertial compensators, because they are not mentioned in any case over the course of the Halo series. TIE fighters, every fighter in Star Wars will be able to pull maneuvers that ships in Halo simply cannot, because it would cause the pilots to black out.
Yeah. While his foe had large ships and many smaller ones, he had 15 Imperial Star Destroyers, 25 Victory Star Destroyers, 5 Interdictors, 20 Acclamator assault ships, 10 Venator Star Destroyers.
Hold up. They're using Venators still. I'm sorry. Palpatine scrapped all the Venators. Like, he threw them all away. Like, they were still using acclamators on backwaters, but
5 light carriers and 20 light cruisers.
First of all, 15 Imperial class Star Destroyers. That's a giant investment. Like, that's huge. And 25 Victory class is also disgustingly large. And 5 Interdictors is completely insane. Like, Imperial captains were scrambling to get Interdictors. Interdictors were very rare.
Yeah, I remember those being mentioned as, like, fucking terrifying because of the gravity well projectors that they installed on the thing. And just like, alright, we're just gonna set up in this hyperspace lane. Oh god.
Not only
Why?
that,
Huh.
from what I remember in Star Wars, like, space battles were like, oh, there's 10 ships, this is a massive battle.
Yes, they were very small.
Meanwhile, fucking the Battle of Reach, it's like, oh yeah, there's like a couple hundred ships on each side.
Yeah. I think the biggest space battle that we ever got to see is shit like the start of episode 3 and a handful of moments in the expanded universe.
What does that tell us?
I think said it sent 15 Star Destroyers. That's probably enough to take over the
15
UH.
Imperial class Star Destroyers. Like, that's
That's
not counting Victory.
those are probably enough on their own to take over the UEG. With the amount of with the sheer amount of weaponry and
But if they don't have,
crew and extra smaller spacecraft you can carry with 15 Imperial class. Yeah, that
I'm
is
just
an
saying.
invasion
Here's the
force.
problem: they are vulnerable to a Mac round to the face.
Yeah, but I don't see 15 Mac cannons lying around, do you?
Actually, it's funny you say that. Because, even the smallest tier ship comes with at least 2 now. Post-Covenant.
Yeah.
I believe UNSC ships, the smallest ones come with 2. Normal ones come with 3. The bigger ones come with, like, 2 really big ones. And the fucking Infinity is just like, hey, we have, like, 20 cannons.
Since he said Imperial class, I have to assume they're Imperial 1, not 2.
Yeah.
Imperial 2.
No,
Imperial 2.
Hold
Says
on.
that right there.
Large fleet. No, 15 Imperial class Star Destroyers.
15 an Imperial class 2 Star Destroyer, which is what he's flying. He's flying an Imperial 2.
Okay, that's one Imperial 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know which tier. I guess we just be 1 tier.
No. If he doesn't because we have to assume, because the author goes out of the way to mention that this guy is flying an Imperial 2, then we have to assume that because he does not include the numerical denotation, that they are Imperial 1.
Wait. Oh! No, they could stop those Mac rounds.
Oh?
Since it looked like he's drawing heavily from the expanded universe that's been decanonized, if these are Imperial class 1 and 2, they all carry shield generators capable of outputting both ray and particle shields. And the way it's worded, it makes it sound like it was able to do both at once.
Ooh.
Which is a lot of energy. It's a good thing those things run on really big energy cells.
Okay, but then how'd the A-Wing crash into the bridge of that 1 Star Destroyer at the end of episode 6?
Like I said, if he's taking inspiration from Legends, which he appears to be.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I don't think that specific shield was ever brought up until well into the expanding universe. Like, I would need to find the first time it was ever introduced, and I don't know if they're gonna,
Well, at the bottom, it does have a list of sources, and you can see when it's when something first is referenced.
Oh, that's the thing. I can't find that for this thing. Which means it wasn't important enough.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, regardless, even Covenant shielding on their super stuff couldn't hold up to the higher tier Mac rounds from the
Sneaky, I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm pretty sure the Covenant fall under what we can see in Star Wars. Like, the Chiss are the Star Wars equivalent of Covenant, and their shit blows a lot of stuff out of the water. And that's before we get into the Yuzan Vong bullshit.
No, the author hasn't given references. They're talking about the wiki they're on. Well, if only the author could give references.
I'd be impressed. That's a lot of extra work.
Oh, I'd dig it. I would so dig it.
Anyway, let's see what happens. Blah, blah, blah. I like this part right here. Getting our ships into Formation C5 proceeds to explain what Formation C5 is.
Here's the thing. Explaining formations is fine, but not
in dialogue like that.
not in dialogue,
Like, we
not
should
when
have
it's a
had.
superior officer to an officer beneath them, and certainly not on the bridge of an Imperial ship.
Or if you want it in dialogue, don't have the guy who sent the order do it. Have two random jackasses be like, "What the fuck is Formation C5?"
Yeah.
Just like, I
Let's
don't
see,
know.
blah,
It's an
blah,
outdated
blah.
something.
UNS ships made adjustments.
Wait a minute. He just ordered them to Formation C5, and now he just ordered them all to spread out.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, because they saw that the UNSC was lining up into good old revolutionary firing lines.
Right, but the whole point of the Star Destroyers taking point is to protect the carriers and the support ships.
Now, Atin, get your logic out of here. Alright, let's see what this battle is.
Ready all TIE fighters and other starfighters. They just called them TIE fighters. They were just...
first thing, okay, so this is the author's note in Chapter 2. In this story, the UNSC will be able to fight Star Wars universe just fine. They have Mac cannons, Spartans, AI, and well-trained soldiers. Why is that included?
I'm not sure why well-trained is included, other than to say, I guess they can fight stormtroopers, as
I read
opposed to
this
rebel
one
soldiers
fic
who
where
are more of a
every
slapdash
space battle...
Boost, for example, there will be competent soldiers and officers. The shields will be better on Star Destroyers. Able to survive more than one max shot. Excuse me? What? TIE fighters will be equipped with proton torpedoes?
It better be one of those. It better be a bomber class.
No.
The TIE Interceptor will be faster than the longsword.
Okay, first of all, I can easily buy that.
Yeah.
TIE Interceptors were designed to be fast. That's fine. But TIE Fighters...
What the No! Rewind! Fuck off!
What?
Interdirectors will be able to prevent ships from entering slip space.
That's...
No!
Actually, I had an interesting conversation with Atin when the stream went down about how apparently hyperspace is actually an alternate dimension that they get shunted into once they hit faster than light speeds.
Yes,
which is why
the
lanes
important thing to note about that alternate dimension is you can still hit planets while you're there, which is why the failsafes exist, and because that's what interdictors exploit. They go, "Oh, there's a planet in the way, bro," and your ship immediately goes, "Oh,
slip space is literally just chopping a wormhole into existence."
I know. I love the definition of what slip space is, explained by a Marine. It's on the wiki, to my knowledge. You take this piece of paper and you crumple it up, yeah? And now you travel through the cracks.
What? Meanwhile, the 40K is just like, well, yes, of course. What do you think the warp is?
It's just. Yeah.
And I want to point out that the entire reason interdictors function is because they simulate a gravity well. They simulate a gravity well from a planetary body, which first pulls your ship out of hyperspace, and then because there's a giant gravity well, prevents you from re-entering. I said slip space, I meant hyperspace. Slip space can be entered into from wherever you please. It's not recommended you do it in atmosphere because it will cause because ripping open a giant hole in reality causes a lot of problems.
Well, it should be noted that you can turn the failsafes off in Star Wars, but I don't think those failsafes currently exist in Halo. They even mention, okay, we can make this jump. Cool. One problem. What? We might end up in the middle of a planet.
What? Yeah, we could just end up in the middle of a planet.
Like,
Or we could arrive 6 weeks ahead of time, or we could be like 2 years too late.
yeah, it's
Yes, we must go ludicrous speed.
yeah.
Okay, so this is the after-action readout, basically, of what's going on with combat.
So if you disagree with what's in this story, please understand that this is fanfiction. Fair enough, but you're ignoring key parts of your own canon.
Let's see. Okay, so Mac rounds hit the Imperial vessels. So, but what the author is not understanding there, they'll be able to survive more than one Mac round. There's a massive difference between a Tier 3 Mac cannon, a Tier 5 Mac cannon, and a Tier 8 Mac cannon. A Tier 8 Mac cannon is basically the equivalent of a fuck
Tier
you.
8's the orbital platforms?
Tier 8s are only found on the Infinity, but Tier 5s were the orbital platforms. And the orbital platforms were already fuck yous.
Yeah, see, that's why I was asking, because the orbital platforms were capable of destroying multiple Covenant ships with one shot. Multiple Covenant ships.
Like, they gutted super carriers in one shot. You don't fuck around with Tier 5s.
The Tier 8 was, I'm going to destroy everything you ever knew, loved, or even thought about.
This is deleted.
Beep.
Oh, that's okay. So apparently there's the Mark II Standard and Modified, Mark V Super, the Series 8 Super Heavy, a Mark IV Heavy Coil, and this is one is my favorite, the Mark 2547 Mini Mac.
Yes, the Mini Mac. I love the Mini Mac.
I don't know why, I'm just reminded of that stupid little mini pistol now.
Oh, yes, the Battlefield mini pistol. But yeah, no, holy fucking shit. Like, I actually had to calculate the weight of the Tier 5 Mac cannons, the poles they shoot, and it's just like, oh god. Fucking Christ.
Okay, so the Mark II is what you normally stick on your ships.
Yep.
Mark V are the ones that are stuck on orbital defense platforms because
Orbitals, the Infinity, and the larger crew on the largest of the UNSC ships. Post-Covenant.
And then the Series 8 has only been on the Infinity.
Yep.
Because the Infinity, I would like to remind everyone, is like 1.5 miles long.
No, it's way longer than that, dude. It's like 5.
Length is 5,694 meters. What's the fucking conversion? 1.6
so that's like 3 kilometers?
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry.
Sorry, 3 miles?
I want this. I want to go to miles. You said it was
5 kilometers.
Meters.
It's 5 kilometers.
5.7 kilometers divided by 1.6. About 3.5 miles ish.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. I was wrong.
It's long.
Way longer.
Yeah,
it's very long.
The other thing about the Infinity is, to get it combat ready, the UNSC said fuck it and just emptied their stores of guns and just slapped it on the Infinity. Is this a derail?
2551 portable Mac.
Sort of. It's sort of a derail. We're talking about relevant things. Anyway, so my point being, the author thinks all Mac rounds are the same. He's wrong and stupid.
I want to point out, I went looking for the Mini Mac. The UNSC designed a light cruiser where they just slapped Minimax on it, and they broadsided Covenant ships with it.
Did it work?
Huh.
Yes!
Okay, so Infinity doesn't have any Mark Vs. Instead, it has 1 portable Mac and 4 Series 8 Macs.
Oh, okay, there we go.
That's not counting the extra Macs that...
No, those are the only Macs listed.
Really?
Yeah, it only has
It's
4
not
Series
counting
8
the extra
and
max that it carries inside itself, because it carries a fucking fleet with it!
No, not a fleet.
No, you
not
can't.
a fleet.
No, you don't count those. Those aren't part of it. It's just helping move them.
Was the
It's like
American
the biggest-
military in charge of the Infinity? Yes, the American military was in fact in charge of the Infinity.
Oh yes, I forgot. Let's see. Okay, wait. So 3.
Well, while you guys
55,
nerd out on that, I'm gonna
24.
continue talking about this stuff.
Oh my god. Okay, I want to point out the Infinity has 8,400 archer missiles,
Yes,
and oh jeez.
yes, I'm aware.
Sneaky and I sat down and did all this math one time.
It
That's
is
another
excessive.
7,500.
How did we get on a Halo tangent that night, by the way? Because that was like 2 a.m. writing for
I
Dark
think-
Souls, and suddenly we got into Halo.
Magnetic acceleration, I believe.
Wait. Hold on. That's 10,000. The Infinity has like upwards of 30,000 missiles.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, I like that at some point,
Why?
it apparently, because it's very specific about a lot of the weapons, and then it just mentions, oh, it's got some M85 AA guns and some guided missile weapon systems. Like, are there just too many you don't feel like counting, or did they
Yes.
just happen to be really vague?
Have
just
you
didn't
ever
count.
seen the cutscene,
The cutscene is glorious.
Max?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so there's a cutscene, I think it was Halo 4. There's a cutscene where the Infinity exits the slipspace portal, plows through a super carrier, and then just proceeds to fire everything in every direction.
Oh, here we go. UNSC Infinity Rams Covenant ship.
This is definitely a
Oh.
derail.
This is a derail. Sneaky, you keep going. I'm gonna send it to Max. Sneaky, you keep going. Come on now.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Victory class Star Destroyers are being shredded. The Destroyers are blowing up. The Acclimators died a little bit.
That's not it.
Imperial class Star Destroyers lost portions of their shields, and only one died.
Yeah, I sent the wrong link. I need to make sure this is the right one.
Apparently,
Star
Discord
Destroyers
yanks you
fell
out of full
apart.
screen if the link is deleted.
One of the interdirectors that got hit lost power.
Interdictors.
Only
Or did
big
he actually
deal.
spell director?
Dictor.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
The Infinity had a 4
like-
8 series max. Yes. That is in fact 3 more than necessary, but it is definitely the amount we required. Oh yes, right. I forgot about the most important part about the Infinity. It has 2 glassing cannons as forward-facing attack beams. What the fuck?
Max, 459 is what you want.
I just watched it just bulldoze right through that carrier.
Yup.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Super carrier, by the way. The largest known Covenant ship, by the way.
All right, deploy the rest of our fleet. What? I like that they store them. I like that they store them pointing down. Like they were like, we need to maximize the effectiveness of the storage. Store them nose down.
Oh, fucking goddammit.
I don't care about these Spartans. Go back to the Infinity. I didn't get to see it shoot all of it.
Who cares about a bunch of Spartans? I want to see the Infinity shoot everything.
Okay, let me go and do the math on this real quick.
Let's see, blah blah. Okay, so here we go. After action report. 11 victories died, Interdirector died, 3 Venators died, 2 Star Destroyers died,
Only 3 Venators?
2 Acclimators died, and 2 Light Cruisers died.
That is completely unacceptable.
Launch fighters when ready. TIE fighters, interceptors, and bombers went to advance, blah blah blah. hostile fighters incoming. We all have locks, so they fired their missile at the TIEs. The missiles were too fast for the TIE fighters to evade, and they all blew up.
No.
Long swords were shredding the TIE fighters.
That's not how that
No,
works. I'm sorry.
no, hang on. Again, like, I've been sitting here thinking about it. TIE fighters, specifically just plain-ass TIE fighters, not even the interceptors, it'd probably be about even ground.
No, but here's the
Unfortunately,
problem. It wouldn't be, because a TIE fight, even if a longsword's as fast or faster than a TIE fighter can use maneuvers
And I think what he's
that
saying
a
right
broadsword
here.
cannot.
Yeah, I think what he's saying right here, though, is that the TIE fighters and the long swords were, driving at each other like they do in Star Wars all the time. And the long swords was just like, lol, we have guns that go farther than yours, and kind of just opened up on the TIE
Yes,
fighters.
they have
Yeah.
ballistics.
yeah, like they'd stand about even ground, give or take, both able to shred the shit out of each other.
Yeah, okay, so we got some more air battles. Admiral, we're finally in firing range. Alright, all ships, fire all batteries. All the Imperial vessels fired their turbo lasers, proton torpedoes, and concussive missiles. It shredded the UNSC ships.
Yeah. By the way, I've gone ahead and looked at it and figured out the math. These UNSC ships are fucked.
Oh, yes.
How do you guys want to assume the spread on the Imperial class? We know we have we know we have one second class for sure. What do you guys want to guess the spread is for the first class in the Venator class ships?
I don't know. Tell us.
What do you mean? The
Well,
spread.
apparently I mean, like, he said there were 15 Star Destroyers in total. One of them is for sure an Imperial second class. What's the split between Venators and first class?
Oh, no. An Imperial Star Destroyer is its own specific thing. Like, he listed separately the amount of Venators. The way
Oh
it
wait,
works
he
is,
has 15 Imperial first class.
yes. The way
Okay,
it
yeah,
works
no,
is,
then yes, the UNSC is fucked.
Yeah.
60 heavy
Completely.
turbo lasers in total, 60 ion cannons,
Each.
6 dual heavy turbo lasers,
Each?
2 dual heavy ion cannon turrets. Yes, this is each.
Oh.
3
Yeah.
triple medium turbo lasers, 2 medium turbo lasers, 2 quad heavy turbo lasers, and no one cares about the tractor beam projectors. Those probably not going to be used in this fight. And if I'm reading the complement correctly, 48 TIE fighter starfighters, 12
Mhm.
bombers, 12 boarding craft, 36 more. Oh, post Battle of Hoth refit.
Only
So with
3,000 credits.
God.
3,000 credits
Okay.
per part. Downloaded on Reddit, yeah.
So
yeah, I heard
apparently
about that.
with the refit, after Hoth, 36 starfighters, 24 interceptors, 12 bombers, 8 shuttles, 8 Lambda class shuttles, 15 stormtrooper transports, 5 assault gunboats. Why do you need that many?
because the Empire needs to be absolutely sure
Gamma
you're
class
dead.
assault shuttle, 1 plus, great. So at minimum they're gonna have 1, at most probably a dozen. 12 Sentinel class landing craft, 20 AT-AT walkers, and 30 ADST walkers.
Yeah, I wanted to point out.
Oh, and
They-
one prefab garrison base.
Neat.
Yes. I was gonna
So
say,
if nothing else, they can
that's my
throw that.
favorite part about. That's my favorite part about that. They could take over Harvest and then shoot a garrison down.
I will shoot a garrison at you. Fucking excuse me?
It's like, oh, so we found your base. Yeah, we're gonna take over it.
How?
Okay.
Fire the garrison! What?
Did you just say fire the garrison?
Wham! What happened to 3/4 of our base? Sir, it appears we've been flattened under their base.
That's Terran's strategy.
So yeah, no, just ignoring the sheer amount of stuff they can carry all at once. The sheer amount of turbo lasers by themselves, not even including the ion cannons, just the turbo lasers, you ain't doing shit
Yeah.
Yeah.
to these things. I am sorry, guys. Like, unless you've got... I could see the Venator class getting completely screwed as far as Mac cannons go. Imperial First Class,
Oh no,
I'm
no.
willing to
I'm
bet
gonna
it's going
say
to take a couple
Venators
of
and
Mac
even
cannons before it
Victory
goes.
class. Even Victory class.
I'm willing to bet that since these are all probably Mark II standards, probably, each of these ships can probably take 3 to 4 Mac cannon rounds before the shields are actually gone.
Anyway, let's move off of that crap onto this crap. Are you ready for some Ruby Undertale?
No.
Well, that's too bad.
Why would you do this to me?
This is called Ruby Lavania. So original.
Well, I guess it's time to put the calculator away.
Not everyone gets an opportunity to visit other worlds. Well, unless you stumble across a certain merchant at a convention. Then you're guaranteed to be sent somewhere interesting.
What?
Happy Mask Merchant. Basically, the Happy Mask Merchant is used in fanfiction occasionally to send people to alternative worlds by selling them a mask of that world.
But that's not how the happy... whatever.
I hope that this is actually just the RE4 merchant,
What are you buying?
just to contradict what you said.
Sadly, in my case...
if the RE4 merchant was like, wanna buy a ticket to another dimension? I'd be like, yes! Yes, I do!
I never made it to that convention. Getting caught up in a car crash kinda ruined anyone's day. Fortunately for me...
This is a stupid fucking self...
Fortunately for me, I'm able to take a shortcut. Multi-cross elements, self-insert OC.
Sneaky, stop adding tags.
It's a self-insert OC. I don't want to fucking hear it. It says OC in the character listings, and it's clearly a self-insert.
Yeah, I know, but stop adding to the summary.
Oh, fair enough. It's a little... Okay, here we go. Fucking, here's the author's note. A little project I'm working on with 2 friends, essentially a self-insert fic. No spoilers.
I've seen it.
But I'll add links later.
There is, by the way, a multi-crossover section of fanfiction.net.
Yes, it's called Xover.
It is where fics go to die, usually.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Because not a lot of people make use of that. And for good reason.
Yeah, yes, Google, you in fact are the reason why we are looking at this right now.
But
must not ban out of spite.
Did we scare away Gamer? We scared away Gamer.
Probably.
No,
Gamer said something about going to bed. I thought.
No, that was
anyway,
Spidey and Arn.
Because they're in Europe. And they're pussies. Because they have responsibilities. No, no, you're gonna be the one that's sorry. It was amazing how time could change so much. Rivers become valleys, mountains become sand. Even ideals can be twisted and warped to the point they barely resemble their original form.
Except Mandalorians. Mandalorian ideals stood the test of time. And that test of time was, am I murdering people? Yes. Am I getting paid for it? Yes. Alright, good. Keep doing it.
Such was the case with the White Fang, an organization set up in the wake of the Faunus Revolution to broker goodwill between 2 sentient races of remnant. However, one of the few things time could not change easily.
Why is time capitalized? Why is time a proper thing?
Change easily is ignorance and resentment.
Time, it better be a character now.
I was gonna say, I better have started reading A Wrinkle in Time again for time to be this important.
Both sides had paid a heavy price during the war, but the humiliation of being outmaneuvered by Faunus kind led to humanity finding alternative methods. means of getting even. While the laws signed following the revolution prevented discrimination against faunists, there were few who would go the extra mile to enforce them, and far too many who would simply look away. As a result, while it was possible for faunists to live among humans, they found themselves struggling just to get by. Those who managed to find work found themselves working for minimum wage, and even then there were many organizations that took advantage of their desperation. The greatest offender in this regard was none other than the Atlesian Schnee Dust Company. Schnee. The largest refiner and provider of most of the world's supply of dust and affiliated technologies. Anyway, so let's accelerate through this. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. On paper, he was magnanimous. In reality, he was a tyrant all the time. Blah, blah, blah. Faunists hate him. Calculated insults. Mere tool to line his pockets. White Fang hated this. White Fang and the SDC clashed over this. After 5 years of attempting peaceful solutions, they got violent. Adam Taurus is this reason. Blah, blah, blah. Violent revolt against them. Calculated message. Informed Schnee family that they would no longer be tolerated. Blah, blah, blah. Take up arms. Adam Taurus was very good at making obstacles disappear. He's a revolutionary. Communism. Blah, blah, blah. Cinder Fall. On one hand, he applauded her for her nerve. On the other hand, the fact that she presumed she would alarm, blah, blah, blah. They were not mercenaries. They were no one's pawns. But they were revolutionaries. He was being generous when he allowed them to leave. Blah, blah, blah. Upcoming heist on the train. Blah, blah, blah. Blake was a member. Blah, blah, blah. Relationship was professional. Then they became lovers. And then she ran away during the train heist. She's so beautiful. In his nightmares, he could still see her. He returned to the camp shaken. In the end, it turned out it didn't matter. Cinder returned, having somehow managed to steal the powers of one of the four maidens and offered an allegiance with Adam again. Threatening him. Blah, blah, blah. Adam realized he should have killed her when he had the chance, and now he was her pet. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. If Cinder ever suspected Adam, she never let on. Blah, blah, blah. Anarchy, destruction of the training academies. Adam approved of this plan. He was totally for it. The White Fang followed his orders. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing new. This is all still Ruby canon. At least I'm assuming it is. Am I wrong?
I didn't see anything distinctly non-canon.
Adam would admit his disgust for Roman. Sentiment was validated when the man turned up. Okay, whoa. Okay, so this is how we're rolling with this.
Carry on.
Okay,
Someone hates Roman.
After a failed heist, Roman turned up dead. His mangled corpse left crucified in broad daylight with a message written in his own blood. Let me just turn the edge-o-meter on. Strike one, you yiffy motherfuckers.
What? What? What?
Woo!
Honest aren't furries. Just putting that out there.
Is this writer from Texas? Maybe.
All
Well,
right, it's time. It's time for this again, Sneaky.
Oh?
Oh yes, you know what it is.
No.
It's time for this again.
What is this?
Oh yes. Yes, that is accurate.
It's great that so many of his videos are just great for reaction clips.
John's a meme.
That's the most valuable thing about him.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Loss of Roman was terrible. His contacts fled. Oh, and then Emerald and Mercury died, and Neo disappeared.
Okay, we have now thrown a large number of very important characters out the window.
Let's see. They killed Tuxin.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So the little bit out of order. So basically, what the author's saying is that it went as canon did. Emerald and Mercury kill Tuxin, and then they disappear. She heard the news. Okay, so blah blah blah. There are two corpses. Okay, so the corpses of Emerald and Mercury showed up.
And Tuxin seemingly vanished into thin air.
Tuxin's alive. Okay, so Tuxin's alive, but he vanished.
Most important characters alive. Good.
Okay, so written in their blood. Strike 2, you yiffy motherfuckers. It was clear whoever was doing it was gunning for her allies, not affiliated with Ozpin. Blah 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 blah. Sealed off rail systems. Unfortunately, due to the death of Roman and her pawns. Blah blah blah. Forced to execute stage 1 way too early. Okay, so Cannon is on the rails still. Okay, so Vital tournament. Brutal murder. She was really going to do that. Without Emerald, they were forced to rely on drastic measures, namely blowing up Amity Coliseum.
Actually, there's a lot that should change.
Boy,
Roman appears to have been murdered fairly early into the plan, and with Emerald and Mercury gone, that's going to change a lot of interactions.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I mean, heck, it changes. Like, with Emerald and Mercury gone, you basically can't destroy Beacon.
Huh?
No, because the entire thing that destroyed it was the giant wave of Grim. And the whole reason that giant wave of Grim showed up was because Emerald
was manipulating the mind of Yang and Hero.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but the thing is, though, is the author literally just explained what happened instead.
Yeah, they blow up Amity Coliseum, but I'm not saying it's not bad, but it's not quite the same, because remember, before that, they'd essentially spent days priming the pot of negative emotion.
I know.
Well, the other problem is Amity Coliseum is a mobile fortress, essentially, and Atlas was in charge of security. Ironwood is not stupid when it comes to security. As much as the fandom
Except
will
for his
portray
computer
him
systems.
for
Yes.
when it comes to the fandom, they will exaggerate things occasionally. Ironwood's not an idiot. The Atlesian paladins that were lost weren't even under his direct watch. That happened I think that happened shortly before he actually arrived in town.
Didn't he arrive in
Oh.
town because of them?
I think he was invited by the council actually because of all the shit that had been going down prior, because there was a huge spike in crime over the 6 to 8 months leading up to
Yeah.
the tournament.
But even then, that huge spike in crime wasn't like a major negative emotion. It was just kind of like, more crime. Like,
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
like
it's a problem.
better safe than sorry, just in case.
Anyway, so Amity blows up, the invasion kicks off. Blah blah blah. Disgustingly opulent halls. Oh, we found Blake. Oh, they're gonna fight each other. We will light the fires of revolution. Wow, okay, calm down, Furry Lennon. I'm remembering that one. I'm writing that one down.
What are you writing down?
Furry Lennon. I'm gonna call Adam Furry Lennon. I don't know with which character. I don't know when. But Adam's getting called Furry Lennon.
Ruby, call him a furry Lennon. What? Just do it.
Everyone is confused.
What? What? I was gonna say, and none of this makes sense.
And?
Atin?
Atin.
Okay?
Just,
I think his brain stopped in the middle of that sentence.
I think
I'm angry. I'm so angry.
I'm good.
I'm angry and annoyed.
Are you tired still?
What do you mean, am I tired still? Of course I'm tired. My very soul is tired.
Oh, Kugel's gone. Anyway, blah blah blah, I'm not running, but you will. You've betrayed me, my love. I never wanted to do this. You want me to do the impossible. What you want is impossible. Blah blah blah, justice. Blah blah blah, yang. Blah blah blah. Schnee. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. He vowed to kill everyone. Blah blah blah. Here we go. Right about when he's about to cut Yang's arm off. Not only did his sword stop before penetrating Blake.
Okay, so she's gonna lose the arm, but Blake isn't. What?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna sit back and have Yang lose her arm and scar her for life, but we're not going to let Blake go through a bit of character development after being stabbed in the gut horribly.
Oh, okay. No, this is the part where he's about to stab Blake to bait Yang into running at him.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, it's that spot.
And so before the sword can hit Blake, it was prevented because he couldn't move. Just before a tremendous force, like being caught in a giant hand, sent him flying. Whoa there, Casanova, a lazy voice came from the shadows. You can't go thrusting in like that. Didn't your ma ever teach you manners?
Oh, look at how
Wow.
funny my dialogue is.
Who's there? A dinner and a trashy movie. This is Blake we're talking about. All you can eat sushi joint and a copy of Ninjas of Love, the Ninja Ninja-ing. Hey, Blake exclaimed. her confusion giving way to righteous indignation as she glared at the source of the voice. What are you implying? A simple blue hoodie with a fur trim. Oh, is this Sans? Probably not. It's probably a self-insert or C wearing Sans clothes.
I hope it's a self. I will be less annoyed if it's a self-insert OC, because then it's just edgy.
It ain't implying when it's true, Pussy Willow. The figure chuckled, earning an embarrassed glare from Blake. Or are you telling me you aren't addicted to tuna and softcore hentai? It's not hentai, Blake shouted. Can't help but notice you're not denying the addiction. Adam's blood was boiling as he watched him reach out to ruffle Blake's hair as if petting a cat.
Don't touch her, blah blah blah, take it
I'm
easy,
proud
blah,
of your
blah,
kid.
blah.
It takes a big person to admit the problem. Get your hands off her. Take it easy there, samurai jackass. I'm remembering that one too. That's actually pretty funny.
That is a good one. I've seen
that
it
one.
before.
Okay, that one's actually yes.
Yeah.
The figure chortled. Adam's eyes narrowed. That's actually a good one for Valkyrie. I'm not gonna remember it. Who am I fucking
Belonged
kidding?
to a friend of mine, and trust me, she doesn't like. Oh my god.
Normally I wouldn't dream
Just
of getting in the middle of a lover spat and way too much work for so little payoff. Happens to belong to a friend of mine. Option A, you crawl back into your hole. Option B, attack me. I think you should go with option A. Don't look down on me, human. He charged forward. What can I say? I did warn ya. Geniality disappeared from his face, replaced by the same madness and power that Adam saw in Cinder. An ominous blue flame like a will-o-wisp forming in the left socket as he held his palm towards him. The lazy smile, now a skeletal leer. Okay, it's fucking Sans. Get dunked on, you yiffy motherfucker. Jesus Christ!
I'd have preferred if it was just Sans. And not...
No, because then it wouldn't be ruining. Like, at least then this person would be
Also,
like,
I would like to point out this chapter is called Epilogue.
Oh. Oh, he just tried... Oh. He's trying to be clever with an in media res, I think. I'm
yeah,
not
holy
amused.
fucking shit, yes. No, I went to chapter 1, and it's just, he's just talking about games. So many games. Paperwork. Yeah, no. Toby Fox, don't do drugs. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have random omnipotent being that offers him a second chance in the Undertale universe.
And yet he ends up in Ruby.
And yeah, and somehow he ends up in Ruby.
And for some reason, he really hates
And for some reason, he really hates furries.
I wonder
what a
if...
fantastic character motivation. I hate furries, so I'm going to kill human animal hybrids.
Yeah, that's what
Fuck those hybrids.
That's what it's coming off as, but it's like, is this the guy who's doing it because internet hate train, or because he's had a legitimately bad experience with furries?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't even... It's like, but these aren't...
No, that's another thing. They're not furries. They're probably some mutated offshoot of humans, but still. What the fuck, dude?
Anyway, none of this makes any sense. Let's just... Ugh, it's 7:43. Can we be done for the night?
No, we have a little bit longer to go. Are you ready for Mad Max Ruby crossover called Mad Yang Faunus Road?
Maybe this will be interesting. I doubt it, but maybe.
On the killed world of Remnant, the tyrant immortal Adam.
This is already weird.
Has been betrayed by Imperator Belladonna, who now rides for the land of the many mentors.
What?
Fucking end me. But as the waste warlords close in, she's forced to turn to an aimless traveler and a raving fanatic for help. One's equally as cynical as she's mad, while the other is flat out insane. But she'll need all the help she can get.
This is only 2 chapters long.
It's a parody, so...
Why are we reading this?
Because it exists.
Does it exist? Yes. Does Sneaky find it? Yes. There's your answer.
My name is Yang. My world is fire and dust. Once, I was a huntress, a grim slayer who hunted for a righteous cause. As the world fell, each of us in our own way was broken. It was hard to know who was more crazy, me or everyone else.
Definitely you. You're the one monologuing here, sweetheart.
Yang stood over the view of a burning horizon from the south side of the hill she was parked on. Having parked and propped up her trusted bumblebee bike for a brief moment, she let the engines cool off in the breeze as she took in the scene of a tranquil wasteland. Wind was carrying the desert's dust on a cool breeze. It was interrupted by a small voice that seemed to be both right behind her and off in the distance. Hello, where are you? Yang didn't flinch. She would normally whirl around and take aim the second she had reason to think she wasn't alone, but this voice was familiar to her. So much so, she simply tried to ignore it. Where are you, Yang? The question repeated, this time almost playfully. It was joined by a small band of voices, most of which were whispers in her ears. Here they come again, worming their way into the black matter of my brain.
Please
I
put
think
the
this is the
banner.
perfect time to kill myself. I mean... Her ears began to burn and throb from the irritation as the voices interrogated her with endless questions, never waiting for answers. They only stopped to call her a liar, killer, or traitor. Swelling in volume, the first voice spoke again with a betrayed cry. Yang, help us, Yang! You promised to help us! Yang felt a tiny set of feet scurry across the back of her boot and tried to run away. She raised her foot and stomped on it with the speed of a finger snap, trapping it alive under her heel. Looking down, she eyed the beast beneath her foot and scooped it up in a single swift motion. What she held in her hands was squirming with a minor sum of life remaining. It was a grim. They were colossal when she was a girl on the once-alive planet of Remnant. The brutal beasts ruled the wilds and tore hunters to unnameable shreds. Now they were all as small as this one, if still alive at all. Yes, this is just the beginning of Fury Road, except Remnant.
Also, apparently you can eat Grim now.
Did she really eat Grim?
Yeah, it's like 2 sentences.
Oh, yeah. She ground the skull between her teeth. Uh-huh. Maybe eating Grim is not the best thing you can do for sanity.
Also, I'm pretty sure, like, they disappear when they die, so, like, eating it would be, like, counterproductive. You're not even having a zero net expenditure of energy. You're going to spend the energy to eat something, and then it's going to disappear because it's dead.
Yeah, no, this is just, Witness me, screamed the War Fang. Yeah. This is just straight up Fury Road, but replace all the characters with Remnant.
Goes from yelling "Witness me" to Whitney's. Truly the work of a poet.
Compared to the majority of shit in the Ruby crossover section, this is halfway decent, and this is true facts. Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer has a monopoly on that bloody section. Oh, what? The shit section or the Naruto section? Because apparently, this is something I found out when I was reading some more Ruby crosses with Naruto. Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer actually makes a habit of harassing other Naruto crossover writers.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, according to this author, Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer was harassing them because, in Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer's opinion, they didn't make Naruto strong enough. So therefore, they're doing Naruto wrong. And therefore, they need to be guided by Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer on how to properly write Naruto.
Does that maybe include a lesson on how to properly write dialogue or even space paragraphs out?
Wait, no, you Kugel, you never told us this. This is the first I've heard about him trying to bully you.
This is something that we can cover later in the Discord. This is definitely not the place for it.
Yes, you should tell us in the Discord.
Yeah.
All right. We got 15 minutes left. I'm pretty sure. Let's find something dumb. Mass gate effect. Thus, the Systems Alliance fought there.
I close out all these Star Wars wiki tabs.
We got some Mass Effect shit. We got some Warhammer Mass Effect shit.
Gotta find something short.
Team Pacifist. Here we go. This sounds retarded enough. Ruby Undertale crossover. Yeah, no, I have my own history with Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer. Team Pacifist. In a world where killing Grim is necessary to ensure survival. Indeed. Copy pasta. Yum.
I have to make it at least a nominal effort to follow along with this trash before I gouge my eyes out with a rusty fork.
Necessary to ensure survival, one team stands out as being one of the few training hunters to leave Grim alive. Can this team hold to their morals and be the first team of hunters to prove you don't need to kill Grim to save the world? Or will they break and become like the monsters they wish to stop?
Whatever. I hate this.
You see why this isn't the just fucking dumb section?
Yes.
We don't need to kill Grim! No, I'm pretty sure you do. They kind of want to eat your face. This isn't a case of, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. He wants to eat your face. You don't want to die. Unless you do want to die, at which point he can eat your face.
I was gonna say, this is not a case of the Turians going to the humans and saying, "Hey, sorry, we tried to murder you."
Like, you don't need to kill Grimm to exterminate them.
Sure you do.
Yes? You do?
Yeah.
This is dumb. This is so dumb.
But no,
And
like,
I know you had it in the just dumb section.
I know, but like, I just want to sit here and be like, how are they graduating from a hunter school if they fail every mission they go on? Because every mission you go on as a hunter involves killing the Grimm in the area, or scouting the area so someone else can kill the Grimm in the area. So what do? They beat up all the Grimm, and then they return to the school and go, yeah, we beat up all the Grimm. Oh, did you kill them all? No. We let them all live.
But what about the villagers? Oh, no, don't worry, we beat up the Grimm.
So, you failed. There was a test. You failed it. The test was, are you too stupid to live? Anyway. Ruby Rose wasn't exactly having the best first day of school she had hoped for. First, her sister ditched her without so much as a warning, then she bumped into a snobby heiress. Next, she just blew up, and then one girl stood up for her just left. She laid on the ground in defeat, hoping she would be able to get through the day without any other problems. Suddenly, she heard a kind male voice saying, "Hey, I'm John." Ruby looked up and saw a blonde-haired boy about 2 years older than her. Really? You don't say. He's 2 years older than you, when you're 2 years younger than everyone. Fascinating. I'm glad we have this information spelled out for us. Also, how would you tell that he's 2 years older than you?
Who knows? I don't.
He extended his hand out to her, trying to help her up. Grabbing his hand, Ruby smiled, and as soon as she helped her up, she let out a muffled laugh and said, "Aren't you the guy who threw up on the ship?" Hearing this, John turned his head in embarrassment. Before he could respond, they heard a lazy-sounding voice say, "Oh, so that was you. I was wondering what that smell was." The duo turned their head in the direction of the voice came from and saw a dark-skinned boy with messy white hair standing across from them with a large grin on his face. He walked up to the two of them and extended his hand. Why is Sans black?
Why is Sans in this at all?
The Game Award nominees? No, man, I don't pay attention to the Game Awards. Are they as dumb as I think they are gonna be? Anyway. This is
I don't have anything to say. I'm just so done.
See, my reaction to Sans being black is from Tumblr, and not that he's black. It's just Tumblr, man.
I'm just like, why though? Like,
why is he here? Why
like,
is
what
Tumblr?
does changing it do?
Yeah. This is I don't know. Anyway, minorities. We gotta get the minority report going. Gotta get more. Anyway. Point being, moving on. Two of them stared at him awkwardly, blah blah blah, shake my hand, blah blah blah, oh ha ha, whoopee cushion, ha ha ha. Didn't find the joke as funny, she admitted it helped reduce the tension. I'm Sans. Sans font. Wake me up inside!
You know, could have at least had the decency to make sure their dialogue was in that particular font.
Well, I mean, they are at least making sure everything's uncapitalized. Which, by the way, is one of the most infuriating things about both Homestuck and, it's Homestuck, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, Homestuck. Homestuck and,
I don't know anything about that.
In Homestuck, if it's the webcomic that I'm thinking of,
I know it's a webcomic.
all of the characters, well, not all the characters, there's like 7 different characters. One of them, 2 of them like talk in leet speak. One of them talks in all capitals. One of them talks with every word is capitalized. You know, the first letter of every word's capitalized. You know, like they all talk in that retarded ways that make you want to shoot someone. And you can tell who's a Homestuck fan when they do stuff like that. You're just like, have you considered just making the human race superior by killing yourself?
Sneaky, you are not allowed to advocate suicide.
I'm not advocating suicide. I'm just asking a question.
The issue is how eager you come across when you ask that question.
Question that needs to be answered. Anyway, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, misunderstanding. My brother heard it.
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh boy, here's Papyrus. Oh boy, he talks in all capitals.
Yeah,
Oh,
he does.
Oh, lovely. They turned around and saw a black boy in a superhero outfit. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I'm Papyrus Gaster. I mean font. Papyrus font. And he looked at Sans, and Sans gave him a thumbs up. What's your name?
Can we be done? I want to go eat now.
Yeah, this is just...
I like how we all just kind of agree. It's like, you know what? This is our... We're done.
This
our
is
souls
just
are dead.
agony. This is agony. Papyrus. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Well, thank you everyone, one and all, for joining us again on another exciting adventure into the depths and the sewers of fanfiction. Not even intentional, honestly. What we do is we just pick fanfiction from the first 3 pages of most recently updated fanfiction. And if it somehow looks like there's a shit ton of crap fanfiction, it's because there is. So,
should I go get the, was it Sturgeon Revelation, I think?
The what?
There is actually, it's attributed to man, find it, Sturgeon's Revelation, often referred to as Sturgeon's Law. 90% of everything is crap.
Yes. Yeah, more or less. according to the lovely community, what little we have built up in our Discord channel, which can be found in the panels down below, or in the description if you're on YouTube, around 4%, actually no, was it 1.6% it was, after fully calculating it. 1.6% of the fictions we have covered in the past 87 episodes? 85 episodes. 85 episodes of this podcast, and only 1.6 of the stories we have covered have been not garbage from our randomly selected list. So, yeah, there's a reason why we're called Fanfiction Contempt Theater. Anyway, that is all for today. If you enjoyed us, we are always here every Tuesday and Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends, don't tell your family, tell the people you hate, spread the word, wherever you don't think you'll be banned for doing so. See y'all next time. And remember, there's always more, and it always gets worse.